The date is set in 1920, and after the brutal Great War, a pandemic spread around the world. Here we're going to ask someone who just returned from the Great War what his life has been like. Hey you, what's your name?
Oh, hey there, my name's Tom. What's your name?
I'm Mr. Narrator. How's your life been since the end of the war?
Oh, well, shucks, Mr. Narrator, my life's been great.
Well, how's the missus been?
Oh, you mean my mother? She's all fine, just cooped up, can't work.
Why is she cooped up? Why can't she do anything?
Well, you see, this flu is so bad that people just start coughing and dying. My mother had to stay home and couldn't go to work. Well, you see, since the Black Plague, a flu this bad has now been seen. Around 500 million people around the globe have been infected, with 50 million dead. Just in the United States alone, 680,000 people have died.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, although the curve has been flattened, Mr. Narrator, the virus could very well come back.
Well, how would we end up flattening this curve?
Well, you see, right after World War I, we had a short supply of doctors and medical assistants for those doctors because the war had been so tiring, and the cases exceeded the medical capability, the medical capacity. So the curve was huge. However, after a bit, after we started turning schools and other areas in our neighborhoods into quarantine facilities, and until we started producing more medical equipment, the curve started to flatten. However, we don't know, the virus could mutate and adapt, and it could very well come back. So that's why we got to be extra cautious.
Hold up, mister. Where do you think you're going?
I'm just trying to go to school.
Sorry, the school's been converted into a quarantine zone. It's closed off, so sorry, you gotta go on your way.
Well then, what did your leaders do?
Well, our leaders, what they did is that they made us all wear masks. In fact, I should be wearing my mask right now. Just 1 second there. They made us wear masks. They closed down all public areas and made them into quarantine facilities. They closed down all public areas. Some of them were turned into quarantine facilities. And I couldn't get myself a good old-fashioned American burger. Now, but a place where the doctors made a huge mistake was that they started prescribing people 30 grams of Advil just because they had some slight pains. I hope you realize now that we figured out that 30 grams of Advil is way too much. People started overdosing and people died because too much impurities, chemical impurities got into their bloodstream.
Doctor, I've been getting like a bit of a headache and stuff like that. I've been coughing, can't breathe really. So like, you think I got the flu? Like, what should I do?
I think you have the flu. Quarantine yourself for a week and have 30 grams of Advil just in case.
Okay. Good.
Well then, Thomas Smith, how did they solve this problem?
Well, you see, good old-fashioned American capitalism saved us once again. The government started to place subsidies in pharmaceutical companies, which enticed them to start a race towards finding the cure. However, this cure was not found, people started dying, and then people got herd immunity, and then these subsidies were removed from pharmaceutical companies. I mean, our country could come up with all sorts of big guns and weapons to take down evil Germany, but they couldn't find a cure for people. So many people died. Hey! The war's over, man! The war's over! We won! What? We won! You alright, sir?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for this explanation, Tom. Have a good one, and say hi to the missus for me. Now, next episode, we'll be talking to our friend Nick in China.